Hello and welcome to this session. We are continuing the lesson that is interior of the art. So in this lesson we will go to the next topic, that is the structure of the art. So the art from the surface of the art up till the interior, how it is, how the layers are divided. We'll discuss in this lesson about that. So suppose this is the art. So this art has been divided into various layers. So this is the top portion of the art, or the surface of the art, where we are living, where we are staying. So on this surface of the art only, there are mountains also and the oceans also. Even the oceans and mountains, everything is on the surface of the earth only. So this is the top layer of the art. It is known as the art's crust. It is called as art crust. So this ocean and mountain, everything is on the crust of the art only. Then the next layer, that is known as the mantle. This from here to up till here, this portion is known as the mantle portion of the art. So this mantle is also again divided into two divisions, that is the upper mantle and the lower mantle. The upper mantle is also known as the asthenosphere. So this is the portion, this mantle portion is asthenosphere, is the area where maximum huge amount of magma is present, that is the semi-liquid molten material that is inside the earth. So it is in semi-liquid quantity or semi-liquid structure, and it is very hot in character. It is thousands and thousands degree temperature, it is hot. So this is called, the upper mantle is called the asthenosphere, and there is one inner mantle which is just above the core, and the inner portion of the art is known as the core. So let us discuss about these layers of the art one by one. First layer of the art, that is known as the crust of the art. So the crust of the art is the topmost layer of the art. So its thickness is different in different layers. So on the continent, if it is on the continent, its thickness is 300 kilometers from the surface to up till the end of the crust. It is around 30 kilometers thick. And if in the ocean, because oceans are already deep, already it is dug down, so if it is in the ocean area, then the thickness from the bottom of the ocean up till the end of the crust, it is 5 kilometers only. And there are also mountains. If from some mountains it is measured, the thickness goes to up till 70 kilometers. Then its density and all also varies from place to place. So this crust is the most important layer of the art, because on this only human being, all living being, and different kinds of activities can be done only on the crust. So let us move to the next layer, that is the mantle. So this portion is known as the mantle of the mantle layer of the art. So its total length is 2900 kilometers. From here up till here, the total length is 2900 kilometers. So the upper portion of this mantle is known as the asthenosphere. The upper portion of the mantle is known as asthenosphere. Here it is shown. So the depth of the asthenosphere is only 400 kilometers. From this 2900 kilometers, only 4000 kilometers is asthenosphere, and rest is the lower mantle. So the word asthenos means weak here, because this asthenosphere, in this asthenosphere mostly the magma is present, and it is very molten in material, so the portion is very weak. From that only the term asthenosphere has been come, because this portion is very weak and very molten materials are found there. So during volcanic eruption, this magma or molten material that is present in this asthenosphere only comes out to the surface of the earth. This during volcanic eruption, we have already discussed about volcanic eruption. So during volcanic eruption, when volcano burst, then this magma that is inside this mantle, upper mantle, that is asthenosphere, it comes to the surface of the earth, and when it cools down, it becomes a volcanic mountain. So next is this crust plus upper mantle, the upper portion of the mantle and the crust. Totally this area is called the lithosphere. We have already discussed about lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere. So this upper portion of this mantle and the crust together this area is called as the lithosphere of the earth. So the density of the mantle is different, it is more than the crust. So as it goes deeper and deeper, the density goes on increasing and increasing. Next, go to the next layer, or the innermost layer of the earth, that is called as the core. So the core has been divided into two portions. Very less is known about the core. It is divided into two different layers. The outer layer is in liquid state. It is semi-liquid, or you can say molten state. And the inner layer is solid state. Its density is very high, so it is in solid state. So the center of the earth, that is the center of the earth, from the surface of the earth, the center is around 6,300 kilometers. From the surface of the earth to the center, it is around 6,300 kilometers. So the innermost layer, that is the core of the earth, is made up of very heavy materials such as nickel and iron. Nickel means for nickel it is Ni, and iron, scientific name of iron is ferrous. So from that ferrous, Fe. So together it makes Nife. So together this core of the earth is also known as Nife, that is nickel and ferrous, that is nickel and iron. So the other name for core is also known as Nife. So let us move next to a very important topic, that is volcanoes. So volcanoes are very important part of the earth's surface. You can say it has a great relation with the interior of the earth. We have already studied in the direct source and indirect sources about the importance of volcano. So a volcano is the coming out of hot gases and molten materials from the inside of the earth. When it bursts and come out to the surface of the earth, this is known as volcano. So the earth's surface, the top two layers of the earth's surface is, first is the crust of the earth, it is known as the crust, and the top upper portion of the mantle, that is known as the asthenosphere. So in this asthenosphere only a hot molten material is present. This is known as magma. This hot and molten material that is present in the asthenosphere just below the crust of the earth, it is known as this magma. So this magma is very hot, so it has a huge amount of energy. It always try to search a space through which it can come to the open air, that is to the surface of the earth, because in the surface of the earth it is totally compact. So from below it always search a way through which it can come to the surface of the earth. It always comes and hit. So if it finds somewhere a weaker zone or a crack or something like that, then immediately it hit and break the surface of the earth, the crust, and come out to the surface of the earth and burst and fall in different portions. So when it come out to the surface of the earth, this is known as this magma. Only when it comes out to the surface of the earth, it is known as lava. So this lava, when it comes and accumulate on the surface of the earth, this is known as volcanic eruption. And the portion that it takes place, it is known as either it is known as a plateau or a volcanic mountain. Next topic is the type of volcanoes. So volcanoes are divided based on how they erupt. So the first is the shelled volcano. So the shelled volcano, first we should know that the volcano that erupts has erupted in the recent past. This is known as active volcano, and the volcano has not been erupted from the very past for a very long time. It is known as a dormant volcano or extinct. It is dormant means it is of no use. So active volcano are those which have erupted in the recent past, but this is based on the shape of the volcano. So based on the shape of the volcano, first is shelled volcano. Shelled volcanoes are those from where basalt, one kind of chemical that comes out. So it is little bit you can say liquidy type, and it is a little bit hot and molten. So the mountain that is formed is not very steep. It is not very steep, but it is little bit flat, because the material that comes out from the vent from inside the earth, it comes and flow very distance area. As a result, it becomes very flat. The next is composite volcano. In the composite volcano, the type of chemicals that comes out from molten material that comes from out from the inside is a little bit cooler, and it is a little bit solid, you can say. So it forms in near the mouth, it forms different layers, it becomes different layers, it's divided into different layers, and it becomes steep like a mountain. So for this steepness or forming of different layers, it is known as composite volcano. So this type of volcanoes are mostly found in the cooler regions where is ice covered area or in those regions. Next type of volcano, that is Caldera volcano. So this Caldera volcano are so explosive and so frequently it comes out that sometimes it goes up and fall on itself only. It don't flow out, but it abruptly it comes out and again fall down on it only. So because it fall down on it, it don't form any mountainous like structure, but where it fall down, that part get depressed like a pond it takes place. So there only this type of a pond like structure takes place. It shows that the magma, that source of magma from where it comes is very near to the source of eruption. So it comes out very with huge force and again fall down on itself only. That is why it is called as caldera. Next is flood basalt province. So the flood basalt province are those volcanoes where once volcano started erupting and it goes on for very long time, and the magma and lava, it starts flowing on both the sides. That huge continent or huge a whole country is covered up with this magma that comes out from inside the volcano. So here you see it is coming out from inside and flowing towards all the sides, and it goes on flowing and goes on flowing for a very thousands and thousand kilometers. It cover the whole area. The best example of this type of flood basalt province is the Deccan Plateau. We have already discussed, we have already studied in our last lessons, in our previous classes, that this totally covered the area of the Deccan Plateau is totally covered up of the volcanic eruption. It is the lava. Next is mid-oceanic ridge volcano. Suppose this is the ocean, this is the surface of the earth, and this is the ocean. There are some volcanoes that is below the ocean, at the center of the ocean, you can say. So at the center of the ocean there are some volcanoes. These volcanoes, they erupt and come out to the bottom of the ocean. During this time also some amount of earthquake, tsunami may take place because of the eruption of this volcano. So next, move to the next portion, that is volcanic landforms. So the different landforms that is formed due to volcanic eruption. So the types of rocks that is formed from lava or magma that comes out from the inside the surface of the earth, and when it condenses or cools down on the surface of the earth, it forms a particular rock. This is known as igneous rock. This type of rock that is formed from volcanic eruption is known as igneous rock. Now this cooling down process of the magma may cool down either in the surface of the earth or in the inside the surface of the earth. Suppose this is the surface of the earth and these are different layers of the earth. This is the crust and this is the mantle. So inside the surface of the earth only this may cool down, or it may come up to the surface of the earth and cool down. So in both the cases it will be called as igneous rock only. But based on where it has cooled down, where it has become contract, so based on that, either it is inside the earth only it has cooled down, or on the surface of the earth it has cooled down. So in both, regarding both, it has different names. The rock that comes out on the surface of the earth and cools down, the igneous rock, this type of rock is called volcanic rock. This is a type of igneous rock. One is volcanic rock. And the types of rock that cools down inside the surface of the earth only and forms igneous rock, this type of igneous rock is called plutonic rock. So igneous rock has two types, that is, one is called volcanic rock, other is called plutonic rock. Volcanic rocks that cools down on the surface of the earth. Plutonic rocks are those which cools down inside the surface of the earth, inside the earth's layers only. So because the plutonic rock, they cools down inside the surface of the earth, they takes different forms, because inside the surface of the earth they get very less space to cool down, to become solid. So the type of space it takes the form of that space only. Like if it is a space of a triangle, shape of a triangle, if it goes and cools down there, it will take the shape of a triangle. If it is a shape of a circle, it will take the shape of a circle only, because it was in molten state. Slowly it cooled down and become solid. So while becoming solid, it takes the shape of the particular area where it has cooled down. So based these different shapes that it takes while cooling down inside the surface of the earth, it is called as intrusive forms. The types of shape it takes inside the surface of the earth, it is known as intrusive forms. So there are different types of intrusive forms. There are different types of rocks that cools down inside the surface of the earth. Based on these forms, they are classified into different types, like the Bacolith. This type of rocks, they are when huge amount of lava inside the surface of the earth, only it takes the shape of a dome like structure. So it inside the surface of the earth only it gets cooled down and forms rocks. So this type of it is called Bacolith. Apart from this, there are also Leccolith, then Lepholith, then sills, Fecolith, then dikes. These are the important intrusive forms that we find on the surface of the earth. These are igneous rocks that is inside the surface of the earth, only it cools down.